The interest expense paid by all farmers across the United States is approaching $33 billion dollars in 2026. This estimate will likely be updated and revised over the next year or so, but it represents almost a $10 billion increase from levels just a few years ago. And so this is a really big change unfolding in a little bit of time. You can see how big of a change that looks really considers how much history you consider. So $33 billion dollars would be the highest value we've seen in several decades, but it's still considerably lower than that, more than 60 billion in inflation adjusted dollars that we saw during the 1980s farm crisis. We also spent levels above $30 billion dollars annually for more than a decade, almost 15 years throughout the late 70s and the 1980s. What's important, and the point of this article, I encourage you to check out the full details, is that there are a couple of ways you get higher farm interest expense. Intuitively know that higher interest rates are important. That's shown here in the green. But also, we have changing debt levels. And so from 2010 to 2020, that farm interest expense didn't change all that much, despite having higher debt levels and lower interest rates. In fact, those two mostly offset each other and resulted and a net decrease of about $500 million between those 2 years. If you take a look at 2020 to 2026, you see we added that almost $9 billion, and about half of that came from debt levels, $4.2 billion, and almost 4.8 billion came from interest rates. And so the takeaway here is that yes, interest rates are pushing that farm interest expense higher, but so is additional debt levels, and that's going to be something that producers have to carefully monitor and keep an eye on in the years ahead.